Boom. Welcome back to One-on-One with Mr. U. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. U. In studio with us today, good buddy of mine, Andrew Bolton, co-founder of TechRescue, financial strategist, Harvard grad, entrepreneur. The man does it all, man. Andrew, glad to have you in the house, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Good to see you. We had an awesome chat during our pre-interview, man. I want to get into it as much as we can. We got a flat 30 today. I got to keep it tight today. I want to have fun with you, but I got 30. It's all I got today. But
Coach, you tell me the play and I'll throw the ball.
Let's do it, baby. All right. So, as customary, always ask about your upbringing, your childhood, man. Kind of get into that real briefly for us. Where are you from?
I'm originally from New Jersey. Mom and dad were originally from, my father was from Lucca, Italy. My mother was from Astoria, Queens. We lived in Manhasset up until I was knee-high to a duck. We came to Jersey. My father worked construction. My mom worked multiple jobs. The grass isn't always greener, they say, and the suburbs hide their own little hardships. Like it's not always green where you see grass. Some of it's spray paint.
You better believe it is.
Hey, some of that grass.
Trying to talk about the New York Jets, but
I'm a Jets fan, unfortunately, so don't hold it against me. Hey, listen.
Have enough time when it's sure to go there.
Hey, listen. I put $2 every year. I put $20 down on the Jets. One day.
You didn't learn anything to save your money? Go spend on something else?
Hey, listen, I look at it this way. $2 on a lottery ticket, $20 on the Jets. That'll be the year that I will remember for the rest of my life. Whatever year that is, $2 on the lottery. Hey, listen, $1 billion. You're not going to put $2 on the $1 billion.
Man, that hole so deep already. But I'll ask you something, because you've been on Wall Street, you've been involved in that life, and I always had a question for you regarding this. What's your biggest takeaway from that experience? I mean, you probably say a lot of things, but your biggest takeaway from that experience with the whole Wall Street situation. I mean, you can probably go a lot of places, but what's your biggest takeaway for that? I'd love to hear that.
Fast money goes fast.
Fast money goes fast. Wow. Okay.
Fast money goes fast.
Give me a little bit.
I've been a millionaire twice. I'm 36, divorced, living in my childhood home, trying to build another company from the ground up. I've been valued once at 22 and change million, and just like that.
Wow. Yeah. This is a little bit of a departure from where we were going, but this is very, very interesting. Talk to me and the people who are listening and watching right now. What didn't you see during that time that caused this to happen, and what do you see now in hindsight?
Oh, you couldn't tell me anything. You couldn't tell me nothing. My mother, who I'm deathly afraid of, Irish Catholic woman with a cast iron pan, for anybody who wants to know.
Cast iron pan ain't no game, man. Trust me. Ask me how I know.
I was making, so during my time, we were trading the BIPs on algorithms, and we were trading Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and a few other things. We were trading financials and technology. So we understood that the algorithms in the summertime didn't run as fast as they did in, let's say higher demand times. So what we were doing was we were just trading BIPs on large contracts. So we were making $5,000, $15,000, $20,000 a hand, and the bell rung at 9 and it didn't stop until 4. So you had all day to play, or if you made your money, you walked out. No one was going to say anything to you. And, if somebody gave you an attitude, you'd be like, yo, I make more money than you. Who are you to tell me anything? And at 22, 23, 24, who's going to tell you anything? If you're making $100,000 a month, who are you to tell me? You're somebody's dad? Okay, cool. Have fun with your, whatever job, whatever it might have been at the time.
Oh, wow. I can hear that now with a Jersey accent.
Well, the world really hasn't changed, right? So if you have money and status, you can determine whatever the play is, right?
Yeah.
So the difference between a 22-year-old and a 36-year-old in that same, it's just the mindset. You give these kids, and we were, an opportunity to make as much money as humanly possible, as fast as we possibly can. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. What happened? That's my thought.
My mother whooped my ass. Oh, she didn't wait. She was smart. She didn't wait for me high. She didn't wait for me when I was at the top of the mountain. She waited till I crashed, and then it was like, now it's comeback time. Paybacks.
Oh my goodness. She was planning her revenge for a while.
Oh yeah, she didn't serve it cold. She served it on a hot skillet.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, she did. She was waiting on that one. Yeah.
Those are the kind of upbringings that make us into people of character. Unlike today's times, but I don't want to get there. We don't have time for that.
No,
but my buddy jumped on Back of the Binge podcast. This guy is JB's a historian, man. He knows probably more about the Jets than you probably do. He's a Miami fan.
Okay.
Fantastic podcast. Thanks, JB, for jumping in. Oh, got a question for you, Andrew. Answer right on the spot. JB said, did you learn from those experiences?
I did. So after the second one, when I brought my mom in as CFO, after the second company, I realized that I need to have people in my circle that I really trust. I really trust. And it was kind of a weird thing, but like mom kind of took charge of it a little bit, and she gives me an allowance. I mean, we're making good money and I have an allowance because to her, she saw you've been a millionaire twice and you fucked it up. Part of my language. So the third one,
so it is what it is, but go ahead.
The third one, she looked at me dead in the eye and she says, no, you're not going to screw this one up. And I was like, but I learned. And she goes, no. So she took control of it. So I run the company. She handles all the finances. And I know it's funny to say, but I get an allowance. So basically that's it. She keeps a tight control over everything. She invests everything, and everything that we don't really need to keep the company running and profitable and keep growing, we just donate. So she's a big advocate in that.
Oh, I love it. That's humble power right there. And a lot of us need it, man. I respect you, man.
Well,
more than I already did, man. That's amazing.
I fought back a little bit, and then she said, well, what do you want to buy? And I came up with a list of things, and she goes, okay, great. Now you have all these things. Now what? And I didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
And she said something really important that her mother taught us. More than what you need is just showing off.
Bingo. I want to ask you about something about that, man. I got a question for you on this.
Go right ahead.
You ready? You ready? Most people, maybe not Andrew Bolton, but most people, if they're starting a new bit and they're going to leverage the fact that they were a millionaire twice and what they were valued at. Are you doing that? And if you're not doing that, why'd you decide not to do that?
Because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've been to doesn't matter if you've been to the MLB Hall of Fame. Come spring training, you still got to show up to spring training. Past performance doesn't dictate future reviews. That's it. Past performance dictate your future. I mean, yeah, you might know how to do it. You might know a few tricks along the way, but that's not guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed. And I respect that. And to add on that, to not take up too much time, I would strongly recommend that anybody not take that mentality because you're setting yourself up for failure.
I hope they heard that.
Take the challenge as it is. Take the challenge as it is. Don't think about the past. Just take it one step at a time, and then let nature take its course.
I love it, man. I want to get into a little bit of TechRescue and this mission that you're on, man. One of the fastest growing companies going right now for tech support. You want to make tech feel simple and make it kind of safe and human again. This is kind of how you put it. Talk to me about why you started TechRescue. What was the story is awesome to me, but I want you to share it with our viewers and listeners. Why did you start TechRescue?
I'll try to keep it shorter since we're on the clock. Long story short, my grandmother was really into genealogy, and with the invention of MySpace back in the early 2000s, she could now not have to go to libraries. She could just look online and find our family from Scotland, Ireland, England, Canada, across the Midwest. We were able to find people that we never would have found. And my grandmother, before she passed at 97, created the genealogy. I call it the phone book because this thing is just massive. And this is the history of our family. Because of technology, she was able to find all these things, but she had trouble doing it. So my mom and I were always on call with her, helping her with MySpace. And then when Facebook came around, we were doing that. And then we realized that there's nothing out there for people just to call help. And my point today was exasperated because I had to deal with our banking system today. We had a glitch, and I tried to get in contact, and I got on the phone. I got passed around the maze. I got to somebody after 15 minutes, and then they didn't know what to do. So then I got put on hold for another 5 minutes, and they're like, well, if you can write down what happened. And I went, why do I need to write it down when I've got you on the phone? It turned into a thing. And then I went, this is why people hate companies, because we pay you to do something. And then when you don't do it, we call you, then you act as if we're bothering you. I'm bothering you. I'm a customer. You should drop whatever you're doing and help me. Apparently, this is a concept. This is a thing. This is now a new thing. Customer service. What's that? Once upon a time, you call a company. Hey, there's a problem. Oh, how can we help you? Oh, that's easy fix. No, not anymore.
I'm baffled by this, man.
Hey, bell bottoms are back. So what comes around comes back. I don't know what else to say. Bell bottoms are back, and I guess customer service is a new concept. Go figure.
Yeah. So with all that, that's a frustration for me that I definitely want to go on a rant about that. It's right here. It's right here. I don't want to do it. So talk to me about this. Because of what you're doing, you're trying to bring the human element back. You and I are definitely frustrated with the customer service bots. That's already on record. We had a long talk about that offline. But how do you go about, you personally, with TechRescue, how do you go about establishing trust when there's so many concerns about privacy and even some government overreach and things like that? How do you as a company go about establishing trust with your clients?
Well, first, our business model is that we help you with your tech problems, from printers to Bluetooth to getting on your PlayStation to connecting to your router. We're not looking to redo an entire defrag of a company. So we're not getting into your company. So that's number one. Number two, everything we use is encrypted services. So once we establish a connection, it's encrypted. And once we break that, we can't get access to you ever again. So once we break that connection, it's done. It's over with. It's like a really bad breakup. You're never going to pick up the phone and call us again. So we can't get access to the computer. The third aspect is when you call us and you are a customer, your information pops up on our CRM. So it's, Mr. Yu, how are you? Glad to see you're calling in. Thank you for calling TechRescue. How can I help you today? Well, if you're frustrated and upset, which we call hot calls, which all of our calls are, the moment somebody calls you by your name and says, how can I help you? You're automatically going to be at least 10 degrees cooler. So the real secret sauce is we're not a tech company. We're really a human company. So most of what we deal with is Step one, calming somebody down. That's the first thing. And step two, once we do that, most of our tech work is very simple stuff. What we really are doing most of the time is just calming that fire down. That's really where our secret sauce is.
I love that.
That's how we establish trust, is that we're not trying to take anything from you. We're here to help you. You called us. We're not calling you. You called us. So we're that 911 for you.
That makes sense. We talked about this a little bit. I want to make sure I heard right during our convo. Do you have a level of involvement with people who've been scammed? Do you go outside of the norm to help them a little bit in that way? Or is that something that's kind of off limits for you?
So we have a proprietary, system that does deep scans that alerts you when things are bad, or there's a compromise somewhere. We'll alert you, and we can help you take the steps. Now, we're partnering with, I can't talk about it now, but it's a very large cybersecurity company that we're trying to work with, that we can now start offering deep dive, deep complex private security, which will help relieve a lot of the tension and, take care of some problems before they even become problems. But what we can do, depending on the situation, is we can walk you through it. We can help you with it. We just have to find out what's wrong. And most of the time, it's a lot of spamware. Every once in a while, it'll be some malware. But what we're finding right now is that AI has gotten pretty good, where people are using voice bots to call and scam, because the email messaging thing has gotten pretty complex and protection wise. But what hasn't gotten protected is the phone calls. So now what we see with AI is that all your videos online can be recorded and downloaded. So let's say you're Sarah from Kansas. You've got pictures of your brother, your sister, your mother, and your grandma. You've got videos of you talking, video with your friends, video with you, doing TikTok dances and singing along. All those public videos can be downloaded, put into a chat GDP like scenario, like Sauna, and that voice can be, because a voice is nothing more than air frequency that gets recognized. So my voice, the sound of my voice, is only a parameter in terms of tone. Now a computer can read that tone, and once it learns that configuration, now I can create a script. I can create a bot that calls your grandma once I find out who she is and her phone number, and you'll get, "Hi grandma, it's Sarah. I'm up at school. I'm in a really bad jam. I need $100 to get this book, or I need $500 for this class. I'm scared to call mom because she's already mad at me for X, Y, and Z, and dad's away on business. Can you send me $500? I promise I'll pay you back when I see you at spring break." Boom, there it is. You just got scammed.
Right, well, I had to add to the question.
Tell me it ain't easy as that.
I only had a small handful of questions. Now I got one more I got to add to it. So we got to move. I got to ask you about something now. Because you said that, I get you. It's very, very scary what you just laid out. There's no question. I'm nervous about it. As far as social media goes, are you using it at all? Are you doing any of the things that we're talking about right now?
Yeah, we use it.
No, I don't mean we.
Oh, me personally?
I mean,
yeah, I personally use it.
So you have videos of you talking?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. I live a public life. I live like most everybody else. But what I have in our family is we have a secret passcode.
Okay.
So if I get a phone call that doesn't sound right, I'll say a key phrase. There's a matching phrase that goes with that saying. If I don't get that phrase, now I'm gonna run my system. And I'm gonna find out who you are. If I get that call from whatever number, now it's going to be an untraceable number, grant you. But if you're calling me via Wi-Fi, I can track your VPN number, and now we can have some fun. But because we're a company now, I'm going to turn it over. You guys are listening to this. I'll turn it over to the proper authorities, because as a business, I can't go and do things. So I'll probably turn it over to the proper authorities. But what the audience can take away from is this. As technology improves, you also have to take measures to protect yourself too, right? So there's a lot of things that we can't protect, like that I can't protect you from. There's nothing I can do to do that. But what I can do is advise you and your family that everyone should have a secret word, have a saying. Like, if anybody's a movie fan, right? So we go with Audrey Hepburn, or no, it's Julie Andrews in My Fair Lady. The rain in Spain falls mainly in the plains, right? If you don't know that saying, then you're not in the family and you don't know. All right, I'll change it. But for us, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't know what that's from, now supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is from Mary Poppins. Now, I'll change it for our family, but just to prove my point. If you know that movie and you know that song, you'll also know the next verses from that is humdiddly, 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 lie. It sounds stupid.
You gonna be on here singing show tunes? Is that what we're doing today? All right, man. No, that makes total sense though. I need you to share that story that you shared with me real quick if you can. The one about how crazy story about how this generation is using technology. Remember those that number, that 90 million number you told me about? Do you remember it?
Yeah. So right now, about 4 or 5 months ago, it's now about going on about 4.5 months ago, we started getting phone calls about video games, and we were not prepared for that. So I hired my best friend, who is a video game nut. He has everything that's been ever made. He knows everything that's ever been done. Where he has time to sleep because he's not playing video games, I don't know. But what we found out over the past 4.5 months is seniors 65 and older, which make up somewhere in the neighborhood of about 75 registered seniors to about 90 unregistered seniors. So we take a look at basically there's about 90 million 65 and older citizens in this country, legally or illegally, regardless of your politics. What we found out is that a mass majority of them, 20% of them made up the GDP for the last holiday season because they bought video games, wearable technology, and they're subscribing to online video games. We've gotten calls for the Old Republic, Fortnite, Battlestar. We've gotten Warhammer, MLB. What has happened in the past, grandkids got to get picked up by their grandparents and they got taken to the park and ice cream and this, that, and the other thing. Well, we all know that those days are gone. Schools are not letting kids out without specific forms and this, that, and the other thing. So grandpa picking the kid up and walking to the park, that's almost non-existent anymore. But what we are finding out are that large adults, in retirement homes and living facilities and living independently are getting online and playing video games with their grandkids. They're playing MLB. They're playing NBA 2K. They're playing Madden. And guess what? We're getting asked, how do I find my grandson? How do I find my granddaughter's, their username? Well, now I get the kid on the phone, and I've done this personally. I've gotten the kid on the phone. Hi, Scott. This is Andrew from TechRescue. I've got your grandpa. He wants to know what the show, what your username is, for the MLB, the show. He wants to play with you. Oh, grandpa wants to play? Yeah. And I'll put him on the call and they'll have a conversation. And sometimes the conversation will get off topic and you'll go, well, that was lovely, but how do we get you? And now we're connecting them and they're playing video games. We have a generation of seniors that are no longer seniors. They are engaging in video games. They're engaging in dating apps. Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, POF, Facebook dating. Yeah, grandma's on Facebook dating. We're getting calls about that. How to set up the dating account. What is the friend account? What is the difference between dating and friends? Now explain that to grandma. That's a fun conversation.
I don't think I have the heart to go there, but
well, I always say this. Well, dating is exclusively dating. It's very intentional, and friend allows for open interpretation. That's all I say is friendship allows for open interpretation, and for those who are not completely ready to buy into the whole idea. So you have a little bit more wiggle room. Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, discretion is advised.
Okay. All right. that previous scenario you laid out, that one is kind of concerning.
Which one? The dating?
No, I ain't touching that. Doing before that. Grandpa knows that you work for TechRescue, but his son doesn't know that. His grandson doesn't know that. So you got this grandson on the line with these two voices speaking to him. One is allegedly grandpa. So,
how is that? Well, usually we give I walk them through on how to do a conference call. That's not hard to do. And then we get them on the phone because they're already out of school. By the time, like when that phone call around 2:30, 3 o'clock rolls around, most schools are out between 2:15 and 2:30. Very rarely are schools out anymore at the 3:15. And here's the thing. If the kid is picking up the phone because his grandson is coming home, well, he's not on the baseball team, the football team, the basketball team. He's coming home. Because if he was, then this conversation would never happen because he's got practice.
Okay. That makes sense. I got two more questions. I want to get this comment in by JD, good buddy of mine. She said, "What's up, y'all? Great content so far. Technology and AI are killing people's ability to think for themselves."
Yes. Yes. We published an article about a month or so ago that showcased that AI actually is having some effects on cognitive reasoning and cognitive functioning for seniors. We don't have the studies now because it's so far from it yet that, and this is just my personal belief, the education system and the way that we're running the education system right now is not conducive to the future environment in which these kids are going to be living. The AI genie is out of the bottle. So this topic of, we got to get rid of AI, that's over with. Stop it. Just don't talk about that. That's dead. That's like, how do we stop electricity from taking over the candle? The car from taking over the carriage and horse business. That's done and over with. So move on. What we need to do is start developing an education program that has AI as one of its core functions. So instead of giving kids homework assignments that they're going to easily do on AI, chat GDP, why not give them a homework assignment and then also ask them, how would you train yourself? How would you teach yourself this material? Create a rubric, create a lesson plan for the end of the week. I want to see what you know about yourself that you can take this information that I have to teach you, and how can you teach yourself? This could be the dawning of the easiest time for teachers in America. This could be the dawning of the moment of the easiest time in teaching. Because you have a Cummins diesel engine, which is AI. Powerful. Anything and everything. Ask any question in the world. How big is the largest black hole? What is the deepest point? The single deepest point in the ocean, in the Marianas Trench? What's the biggest crater on the moon? How fast is actually the speed of light? All these questions can be instantaneously answered. So now what you do as a teacher is now you have to create curiosity. You have to captivate that. You have to stir that fire of these kids now have technology that can make them the smartest of whatever field they want. Pick one subject, read about it 20 minutes a day, and you'll be an expert in a year. What are you interested in? Now we have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And this is where, and we could be on this for hours, but this is where the education program now needs to change.
We can't be on for hours.
But that's what we need to do. We need to actually now stop and look at what tools we have in our arsenal and go, all right, we need to change the program. The military changes its entire battle plans in the future based off the equipment that it has. So if we're having all this new military technology, we have a whole new battle plan. We have a whole new war strategy based off of the material and the equipment that we now have. Same with education.
Fair. All right. So rapid fire this next to last question for me. And then, of course, we'll close with our last question. People are probably thinking about it. They're probably wondering why you had a lucrative career in financial strategy and doing other things. Why did you choose the uncommon path to leave, I guess, stable money behind to build your own LLC? Why'd you do that?
There is no such thing as stable money on Wall Street. It's just big gambles. How much can you take? If we're, I mean, are we looking for an answer or are we looking for the truth? All right, so we want the truth. I burned out and drugged out. Cocaine is Rick James said it best. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Sorry, I don't have a better answer. I burnt out.
What that tells me is that 30 minutes is enough time for us to have a discussion. That's what that tells me. I gotta get you back in the books.
In all honesty,
I got a question I haven't even touched yet, man. But I don't have time for them now.
You said rapid fire. I'll give you rapid fire answers and we can always come back.
We gotta move on. No, we're gonna do another show. That's what we're gonna do. Here's my final question for you. Last question. I prepped you for it in advance. You have time to think about it. I knew it was tough. What's Andrew doing with his life? Career, vocation, whatever. You're not doing tech. You're not doing financial strategy. No Wall Street stuff. Not even your own LLC. Not even TechRescue. What are you doing?
I want to blow up buildings. I want to be the dude that pushes. When I was a kid, Calamity Coyote and Bugs Bunny and all of them had, the Acme TNT with the big plunger, and they got to blow up like mountains and stuff. I always thought that was cool.
Wile E. Coyote was your role model?
No, Wile E. Coyote wasn't my role model, but he always, for some odd reason, Wile E. Coyote had a black card. I mean, think about all this stuff Wile E. Coyote bought. He bought gas-powered roller skates, rocket-powered bikes, a rocket ship, a catapult, slingshot. He had gigantic magnets. I mean, this man had a black card that made Jeff Bezos jealous.
That man, now that I think of it, you're right. Like, where did he get this stuff from? The Acme store in the desert? Where'd he come from? Yeah, you're right. Black card.
Bugs Bunny got to blow up a mountain. He got to crank that big red box and push it down and boom. And I was like, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Because I'm too big.
Job, man.
Well, either that or being a dude, because I'm too big to fit in a plane. I'm a big boy. I don't fit in planes. So a buddy of mine who's in the Marine Corps said, like, he's in an Abrams tank and he's like, it's probably the coolest thing in the world is just to blow something up. And I was like,
maybe you still get your wish even though you're doing something else right now. Maybe that still happens for you.
My feeling is this. Here's my wish. Because everybody, like all these celebrities get to do like really cool things. If I got to be famous enough or rich enough, there's one thing I've always wanted to do, and it got taken away from me in the movie The Dictator. I want to fire a tank. I want to blow something up. I want to take like an old Miata or like you know what I want to do? I want to take like one of those like one of those old like junkyard cars, and I just want to hit that button so bad. I want to send a shell down range. I think that'd be cool.
That's kind of concerning. But
how is that concerning? You're telling me that you're telling me that no red-blooded American male ever wants to fire an ordnance shot down range? Please, come on.
I do. I kind of feel like you want it too much. That's what's concerning me. I didn't say I didn't want it. You want it too much.
That's because I'm just open about it. I'm just open and honest about it.
All right, buddy.
You're telling me that you wouldn't want to like shoot down range.
You can't grill me on my show. That's not how we do things here, man. I would have blown stuff up too, but yeah, okay. I admit it. But come on.
When I've seen on YouTube Day, Crayon Day for the Marines, where they get to like pull out the big M50. This is how I know it's fun, because when I see on YouTube the smiles on these jarheads' faces when they get done with Crayon Day, like the smile is intoxicating. And I'm like, that's got to be such a feeling. To rip a sleeve on an M50, to rip a sleeve through. Oh, I got to admit that looks so much fun.
We gotta leave you in ecstasy. We gotta go, brother. But thank you for jumping on here, man. This was fun. We got to get into some more stuff. I didn't get to touch on that new tech you were talking about. Online predators, video game scam. I'm gonna get into all that stuff. So we gotta book another episode, man. Let's do that as soon as we can. For all you guys listening and watching, techrescue.io. Reach out to Andrew if you got family and friends that need this kind of help. Happy to help you out with that. 24/7 tech support, free with human beings, not bots.
Exactly.
Check out
And, don't hold the Jets,
TechRescue.io.
and please don't hold the Jets against me.
You said?
Don't hold it against
Oh
me.
gosh. we don't do miracles on this show. But on our YouTube channel, what episode is, Andrew, if you don't mind jumping in, drop your links in there in the comment section under the YouTube episode. People can find your stuff real easily. But we'll be talking again soon. Promise you, man. We're gonna get it done. Thanks for jumping on, man. For all you guys listening and watching, Andrew, Mr. U, we're out of here. Have a great day.